Hi everybody, this is Alice, Bejeweled Hedgehog. I am here again for my 100-day vlog challenge. I have been sticking with it. I am very proud of myself, and I am proud of everyone else who's vlogging, whether they're deciding to do it over 100 consecutive days or whether they're just deciding to vlog. It is a wonderful group of people, and it's a lot of fun. And I wanted to say hi to Xanda. Hi Xanda, in Tarsia Pearl. And I always put a link down below of people whose vlogs I watch who are kind of part of this 100-day challenge. And I basically just got home from my sister's and really have not looked through all the emails of new videos. So if there's also another new vlogger, and you know, I'm not doing a shout out to you, I'm sorry, you will get one tomorrow. But anyway, I watched Xanda's first vlog, and it's really cool. It's really interesting. She's receiving psychic training, which is something I know very little about, so I found her video fascinating. So, hi. Okay, let's see. This video, if you noticed in the description, has things listed in it, because I kind of decided what I would do, since I have a tendency to talk a lot, is tell people what each vlog is going to contain, and that way, you know, you can decide if you're interested or not. And I will always talk a little bit about my goals and how they're going. My goals for today are going so-so. In terms of food, I am extremely proud of myself. I went over to my sister's this evening, and I do that a lot. I just go over in the evening and hang out. And we had a fun time. They have mice. You know, mice get into their house when it gets cold and don't want to leave. So she sets out these cute little tiny traps that catch them in a little box rather than hurting them. And one was caught today, so we went to the nature center and let it go, and it was so precious. It was so tiny, and it was like a little gray-brown color, and it had these great big dark eyes. It was the cutest thing. I decided briefly that I was not going to go to the nature center to set it free. I was going to go to PetSmart and get cages and whatever as one does with mice and keep it. But, you know, it was pointed out to me that it was a wild mouse and it might not be too happy in a cage. So anyhow, after that they started dinner, and they were going to have beanie weenies, and you know, they're going to have a vegetable with it to be healthy. But I just decided, I mean, the weenies are out. The hot dogs are not really even a food. I remember years ago reading an article by a nutritionist who thought that hot dogs, with all their additives and all the icky scrap meat and kind of things that go in them, should not really be considered food at all, even though I do love them. So I decided, even if I didn't eat the hot dog, the baked beans that go with it are loaded with sugar. I mean, even if they're beans, which are inherently healthy, that sugary, barbecuey sauce that goes over them is not. So I decided I would just come home. I have some seasoned tofu, and I just got a bag of lettuce. And as soon as I'm done my video, I'm going to relax and eat. And I have some strawberries for dessert, so I'm very pleased. I have also been plugging away at my recipe book. I don't have that right here, but looking through and getting a feel for what recipes are not going to be too complex to cook, and what I want to try for the next week or so. And I had kind of been lagging in my decision, you know, really trying to do some research on what is a healthy mode of eating. And one of my subscribers sent me a list of 3 books, and I went ahead and went through the library today and found one that I could put on hold. And the other 2 I reviewed on Amazon, and I just decided they looked so interesting that I would go ahead and just buy them. So as they come in from the library or from Amazon, I'll show them to you and review them for you, so you know, you can see what you think. Oh, I'm wearing my Hooked on Crochet t-shirt. Isn't that adorable? It's a kitty cat crocheting with that little hook. Anyway, So that's that, and I just wanted to tell people if my comments have been absent, since usually I write these little novellas to everybody and they're all over the place. I have just gotten, well, between sick and busy, I just haven't, sometimes I've been watching videos but haven't really felt up to commenting, and other times I just haven't really had the time to watch. But this evening it's early, and right after this, dinner, tea, and YouTube watching while I crochet. So, moving along, I wanted to show you that Bruno at Dump for Stump, hi Bruno, recommended a bunch of books, and one of the ones I had not read, although I have read this author, is Love in the Time of Cholera by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and it just came today. I ordered it used, but you know, it's really strange. Some of the used books that you get through Amazon Marketplace still have, like, you know, they're very cheap used book price, but when you go into the area where you select what seller you want them from, some of the sellers are on the Prime system, which means that whole $3.99 shipping thing is being picked up by Prime. So I don't really know how they're making a profit. But anyway, here it is, and let me quickly read you the back. In their youth, Florentino Ariza and Fermina Daza fall passionately in love. When Fermina eventually chooses to marry a wealthy, well-born doctor, Florentino is devastated, but he is a romantic. As he rises in his business career, he whiles away the years in 622 affairs, yet he reserves his heart for Fermina. Her husband dies at last, and Florentino purposefully attends the funeral. 51 years, 9 months, and 4 days after he first declared his love for Fermina, he will do so again. So, I mean, this just, Bruno gave this book an outstanding review, said that he liked this one even more than 100 Years of Solitude. So I am really, really looking forward to reading this. So it came. And then the other thing I wanted to show you is I saw Ginger's Smash Book. And, you know, I was getting kind of interested. I had a scrapbook when I was a kid that I would just randomly stick things in, but I think that's been gone for years, and I've never scrapbooked as an adult. But then I realized I actually have something which I think is really, really interesting. I have the scrapbook that my grandmother made for my father when he was a baby, and so it kind of covers his birth announcements, you know, all the way through the early years of his life. And something really cool, I guess, about me and my family is from me to my grandparents, we span the entire 20th century. My father was born in 1922. His father was born in, I believe, 1898 or 1899. And his mother was roughly the same age as his father, so they were both born, she was born either the last year or so of the 19th century or the very first year of the 20th century. And my father did not have me, I'm the oldest, until he was 40, so I was born in 1961. So it kind of goes 1899 to 1922 to 1961. And I just think that's interesting. And, you know, just between 3 people, we've pretty much got the 20th century covered. So anyway, this book is amazing. You can't really see, it's kind of faded, but it is pink gingham, and she embroidered his name and these flowers and the date down at the bottom, 1922, and she kind of has this really cool embroidery on the spine, and I can tell by looking at it that she, look at this beautiful pink paper, it's really vivid, it's really held up surprisingly well. Let's see if coming back shows it. The color is not showing up all that well. In looking at it, it looks like she may have bound it herself. I mean, if you look at the end there, it's just kind of, you know, how I know Andi at Andi Believes does inclusions for some of her books, and this may be something along those lines. Anyway, I really can't tell, But this is so cool. This book was given to me on May 1922. Oh, this was given to him by his grandmother, which would be my great-grandmother, my dear grandmother, Mrs. Kate S. Cabine. And let's see, here are some of the birth announcements. Oh, that's him in an amazingly frilly, funny-looking crib. And the birth announcements are from, some of them are from, let's see, the Florence Daily Times, because he was born in Florence, South Carolina. And some of them are in what's called the Bossier Banner, because his family was from Bossier, Louisiana. And I believe that this house in this picture here is his grandfather's house. So that would be my great-grandfather's house. And this is the grandmother, my great-grandmother, who made this book for him. And oh, there's one picture in here that I love of my grandmother in an outrageous 1920s outfit. It's just to die for. She has all these marvelous little cards that were, this was his birth announcement. And that's a photo, this is a photo of her in those wonderful drapey, droopy 1920s clothes, holding him. The photos are hard to see because they're kind of faded to begin with, and with the glare it's almost impossible. This says April 16th, 1922, and that is my great-grandmother, and the little baby in the christening dress is my father. And she's done, let's see, she's done, you know, she writes. Now, I come from a long line of people with pitiful handwriting, so I have never really sat down and taken the time to decipher all of the handwriting in this book. Basically, my parents, sold their house maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. My mother went into an apartment. My sister moved in, my father moved in with my sister. That's my grandfather holding my father. Because he had Parkinson's disease and also Parkinson's dementia, which is essentially the same thing as Alzheimer's. And when that became too bad, we had to put him in a home, because he would do things like get up in the middle of the night. So we were lucky. He did harmless things, like he left the freezer door open. So yes, they lost all their meat that they bought on sale. But he never did the really horrible things like turn on the burners and walk away. But he was quite capable of it. And he was very, very frail. And they had an apartment built for him in the basement. They redid their basement, so he had a bathroom down there that had the shower, that, all these things like handicapped things. The problem was he was too shaky to get up and down the stairs easily by himself, and he was supposed to call out to someone, but he just wouldn't. So, he went to stay in a very nearby place. Now this is him in one of just the most amazing wicker cradle I have ever seen. That is just so antique-y looking. Look at the wheels on that thing. And the picture down here on the bottom, that's just so funny. So I'm going to flip through and show you one more interesting thing. Oh, this is so cute. This is like a certificate, apparently from his church, baby division certificate. And it says the Women's Missionary Council Methodist Episcopal Church South. And this certifies that James Cabine Houck is a member of the Baby Division Women's Mission something Missionary Society of Florence Methodist Episcopal Church South Carolina Conference. And that's just so cute. I have no idea what any of these things mean. I don't think people do all that stuff anymore. Oh, this is my first Christmas. So all this indecipherable writing is apparently a story about his Christmas. But anyway, basically when they sold their house, a lot of things just got put in boxes, and my sister and I are only now kind of going through them and trying to figure out what's what. This is adorable. This is a 1920s Valentine card. Somebody sent him a Valentine. And then my favorite thing, oh, here's a bunch, oh, there are a whole bunch of cool things on this page. These are adorable little 1920s Christmas cards. And then this, oh, you can barely see it. This is a prize. I haven't really read it closely enough, but I think this was his first baby blanket, and he somehow or the other, ooh, a piece just fell off. He somehow or the other damaged it. And because it said up here about somebody is sending him a new one, so I don't really know what happened. But it is crocheted. So there is this piece of ancient 1920s crocheting in this book. And then the rest of it is just kind of along the same lines. I want to see if I can find some of those outrageous 1920s dresses. Oh my. I don't know if you can really, oh, the glare. You can't see. One of the women, and these two women in this picture here, is wearing one of those funny 1920s hats that they used to wear, flapper hats. And there was a fairly large size picture of my grandmother in one of those 1920s. Oh my goodness, look at this. Somebody has sent him some sort of Boy Scout thing, I think. It says, maybe this is all the way up to the point in time when he was a Boy Scout, but there it says, be prepared and do a good turn daily. Oh, it just popped open. Yes, it is. It was a Boy Scout. Okay. And I am not seeing this. This book is too fragile to flip through, you know, incautiously and quickly. But oh, I did love that picture. And oh my goodness, this apparently is a Halloween costume, and he is dressed as a pirate right here. So this is really cool. She has apparently pasted in all kinds of things, envelopes with little things in them, early pictures, and it just apparently got passed, you know, packed in a box in her home. When she passed, it was, you know, given to my father, packed in another box, and now we have it, and hopefully, you know, we'll be able to preserve it. I am just looking desperately to find, well, this isn't the one I was talking about, but this should show. I believe this is grandmother and my father. You can kind of see her outrageously funny outfit. So, that is that. I think it's really cool. I'm sure my nieces will love it as they get older. And there were a whole bunch of things included in the back that just kind of fell out. And I think they're so cool. It looks like a Christmas program. Okay, they're going everywhere. A report card. What is the date on this? Well, it says school year ending June 30th, and it does not have it has a place. Let's see if they have any dates on it. No, it has a place. You can't see it, but it has 193 with a place for the number written in, and the number's not written in. Here he is with his sister. I love those wonderful, wonderful old-fashioned clothes. Okay, then the other thing, the antique quilt, quilts that I were talking about, are pictures made by my great-grandmother. I am not entirely sure at what point in her life they were made, and I am not sure whether they were designed to be pictures or whether it's a piece of a quilt cut up and framed behind glass to be preserved. These hung in my grandmother's home in her guest bedroom, one over each bed, and what you see in the middle is a C, which I assume is for Cabine, because all the Catherines were K. Catherines. And I don't know if you can tell from this picture, but these are all very fine fabrics, luxury fabrics. They seem to be velvets and satiny things. So were these mementos of, you know, favorite dresses or something? And they're all embroidered. And, you know, maybe I'll photo them. I mean, I'll just take some photos and just put up a quick video. But yeah, this is one. And I'm not entirely sure when these were made. Since they were my great-grandmother's, they could have been made in the 20th century, they could have been made, towards the very end of the 19th century. But this is this is an interesting little thing up here. It's like a moon and a hat and a hand. And look at that embroidery work. And there is the flower in the middle. This is an owl on this piece right here. So yeah, these hang in my bedroom, and I just took them out because I thought it would be easier to show them to you here. So there you go. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a C. I honestly don't know what initial that is or who it goes with. So those are my antique quilts. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you, in terms of sort of the whole health and diet question, is this is a newspaper I saw over at my sister's house. My brother-in-law gets the Wall Street Journal, and it's called Leftovers, Tasty or Trash. And it talks about how much food wastage there is. It says that 16% of all fruits and vegetables, 16% fruits and juices make up 16% of the trash in a home. And when it has a little asterisk and it says trash refers to avoidable waste. So apparently we throw away 16% of our fruits and juices that we don't need to. 13% milk and yogurt make up, so that's that. 25% of the vegetables. Vegetables make up 25%. I'm sorry, I'm saying this incorrectly. Milk and yogurt make up 13% of the trash in your home. Vegetables make up 25%, and grains make up to 14%. And it says why we buy too much. It's counterintuitive. People tend to overstock when they actually have enough at home. And I think I have done that, and I think that I have that problem too. If you are shopping for something, you've got an idea for a recipe, very often I can't remember if I have some ingredient that is not a frequently used ingredient, and I very often buy it. I mean, I have 2 jars of capers in my fridge because I bought them for something fancy, and then several months go by, and then I want to make a different recipe with capers in them. I'm like, capers? Yeah, I've had them before, but I don't think I have them anymore. So, home comes little jar number 2. So, and then the other thing they said is vegetables are the most commonly wasted food in the average American home. Each home throws out $92 of fruits and vegetables a year. And that made me cringe. And then $500 to $2,000 is what an average U.S. family of 4 spends on food each year that ends up in the garbage. And one of the things that they attribute to it is not understanding what food dates really mean. And I'm sorry to just get you on here and read the newspaper to you, but this really, really surprised me. Expiration dates and sell-by dates on food are often set by manufacturers and intended to guide grocers and shoppers about peak freshness, not as a safety gauge, which I really did not know. If I see that expiration date and it's, like a day after, I assume that botulism and certain death is lurking in that product, and it goes. Let's see, the dates are generally not set by the federal government, with the exception of infant formula. After the date passes, while not of the best quality, so not of the peak freshness, the product should still be safe if handled properly and kept at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below for the recommended storage times, says the U.S. Department of Agriculture website. Dating foods like eggs is required by some states. The issue is getting more attention in the UK, where reducing food waste has become a political flashpoint. The government there advised grocery stores last year to stop using sell-by and display until dates to reduce avoidable food waste, saying the dates aren't an indicator of food safety. Give it a smell, look at it, or maybe even taste it before tossing food, suggests Jonathan Bloom, author of American Wasteland, a book about food waste. we have fairly well-developed instincts as a species for knowing if something is good or not. So that was an eye-opener to me, because I just assumed those dates were the drop-dead dates. You know, pretty much that I would be the one dropping dead if I did not, you know, cleanse my home of anything that was even one day past. So this was just a fascinating article. I thought I would share it with you. I can't remember, because I talk so much, if I went over all my goals. Basically, the watches are still in limbo. They're still in my purse. I am aiming to stop by the mall tomorrow evening and get them taken care of. I'm coming along in terms of the compiling recipes and compiling information. And the breathing, I'm surprised. The breathing has just really, it's not really, I don't even think of it as a goal anymore, because I have become fully aware of it, and I'm developing an interest in yoga. So yes, I'll tell you about that, you know, all the way through till the 7 days are up, but I don't consider that really much of a challenge anymore because I'm doing it. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to mention is I just picked up Crochet Magazine. Actually, it came in the mail. I subscribed to it, and I just flipped through it when I was in the elevator, and it looks like it has some really cool patterns. And look at this, open flowers necklace. But I really haven't had time to look at it. It also has some patterns, yay, size to 3X, which means I can wear them. So what I will do is, ooh, that was scary. I just saw myself kind of jump on the camera. Anyway, I'll take a look at the magazine, and I will do a review tomorrow. Okay, everybody, thanks for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed seeing the really cool things that I really like, and looking forward to watching all of you this evening. Okay, have a great night. Bye.